Hey everybody, Film Fan 108 here, and physical media love, man, it has been going strong as of late, hasn't it, man? With all of the sales and all of the really wonderful announcements, boy, it's making a small comeback, just a little bit, which I'm always happy to see, by the way. However, boy, if you guys aren't taking advantage of sales, then there is definitely a major problem with you. And speaking of sales, it is July, by the way, and you know what is one of the best sales of all time, right? I mean, you've got to know it, and that is none other than the Criterion sale, baby. 50% off all Criterion titles, DVDs, Blu-rays, you name it, every title, 50% off, man. It happens in July, it happens in November, and now the sale is officially going on. And Criterion, they have so much good stuff. There's so many wonderful titles out there, and you know that I've gotta go dig in a little, don't you? You gotta know it, guys. So what am I sitting in the car for? Let's head in to none other than Barnes and Nobles, baby, for that beautiful Criterion love, man. Old school titles, new releases that have just come out, and everything in between. 50% off, you cannot beat it. It is amazing, it is awesome, and I cannot wait to dive in. Well, we are in at Barnes and Nobles, and hey, Criterion Collection is right behind me, man. I am willing to dive in, but actually I was gonna tell you guys, I came here with a goal, okay? I have $100 with me, and I said, can I just buy enough to get $100 worth of Criterion? But I kind of realized that goal is probably not gonna happen, because there's a lot of Criterions that I really want, and if they have a decent amount, I may just go for more than $100. I mean, I have extra, but I was kind of doing a goal. I might just screw up my goal before I even start, damn it. The Criterion Collection, it's like a gold mine. You find things that you want more and more every single sale, and you want to hold back, but you kind of want to buy it too. The Criterion Collection, it'll be the death of me. Ah, yes, the Criterion Collection, 50% off. Oh man, there are so many titles that I want, guys, so many. I'm not gonna get to my goal of just $100. I'm so not gonna do it, man. I should just like wave the white flag already. I really should, dude. I mean, some titles, honestly, I'm willing to hold off on and wait, and some I really want, like, immediately. It depends on the title. I mean, honestly, some, I mean, I know some are some of those titles that are like good, but you don't mind holding off on, because it's not like they're not going to be here in a few months. They are, but you tend to, ones where you're just like, oh, I've been waiting for that one for a long time, and other ones where you're kind of like, could take my time on this. I don't know, there's a lot that I really like, guys, especially when it comes to Criterion. Oh, man. Ooh, Antichrist. Man, that is a fucked up movie. Jeez. I mean, honestly, most Lars von Trier movies are really fucked up, but honestly, a really great movie. Weird, but really great, though. That's a really good one. Age of Innocence is awesome. That one is the whole 400 Blows. I've heard about this movie. I've never actually seen it, but I've heard somewhere that it's a really good movie. People really liked it. Oh, the 400 Blows, that might be good. We got that. Ooh, Alfred Hitchcock's 39 Steps. Racing Spy Story. Huh. I mean, I am a lover of Alfred Hitchcock, but there is a lot of Alfred Hitchcock that has passed me by, and 39 Steps is one of them. I've never seen that one. That's interesting. 1984, 8.5, Three Women. Frames. Ooh, 12 Angry Men. I bought this actually during the last sale I did. I bought this because I really did want this. I love this movie. This is a great courtroom drama. Love this so much. The performances are fantastic here. And I even have to say that the remake, years later, with Jack Lemmon, was really good. I mean, maybe not quite as good as the original 12 Angry Men, but still actually a really solid one. I'd love to see that actually come to physical media. That'd be cool. That, oh, jeez, Bamboozled. Talk about a movie that can never, ever be made today. Like, I'm serious, as far as, like, standards are concerned, man, boy, talk about somebody getting canceled. Like, damn, Spike Lee would get canceled majorly. But then again, I appreciate Spike Lee's boldness. I really do, man. I mean, I don't love everything that Spike Lee has done, but when he's good, he's really good, man. And Bamboozled, I mean, maybe it's not his best, but you got to give him credit, man. He had balls to make this. He really did. It is good, man, but there are certain movies, and I've said this to you guys many, many times, there are certain movies that can only be made at a certain time period, and Bamboozled is one of them. It's really great, man. That's a great one. Ah, The Breakfast Club. Don't you forget about me. No, no, no. I'm probably gonna get kicked out for fucking singing. Oh man, The Breakfast Club is amazing. It is one of the best high school teen coming of age movies of all time, man. And John Hughes was brilliant for the time that he was making movies. I mean, it's so weird because it was just, if you really think about it, it was just a very little amount of time that he was doing this. I mean, seriously, it was like a certain amount of time in the 80s that he was doing it, and then suddenly once the 90s hit, he wasn't really getting much work, or the stuff that he was doing wasn't really hitting the way he wanted it to. And so there's that really small period of time in the 80s when he was making these amazing movies, and then that was it. But that time period was so amazing, man. I mean, if you think back to like those amazing movies, 16 Candles and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Weird Science. I mean, it was just all in the 80s, and it was just this short time that he like shined bright as an artist. Crazy to think about that, but it really is true. And it's actually movies like Breakfast Club that have actually survived way past, I think, what most people thought it was. But it's really that good, man. Seriously. Oh, The Brood. Oh man, what a crazy, weird, fucked up movie this is, man. Yo, this is really bad. I mean, it's not bad, it's just bad as in like, wow, how really insane this movie is. David Cronenberg. Man, I do like David Cronenberg, I really do, but that guy is weird. He does some weird art, man. I mean, it's some really fascinating stuff. Like, him and David Lynch are some really fascinating filmmakers. I can't say you understand everything that they do and their intentions, but damn, is it intriguing. This movie, there's that scene where she's licking the fetus, and you're like, oh god. And like, there's just certain moments in David Cronenberg films where you just like sit there and you're like, oh my god, that's nasty. And you're like, what kind of demented mind comes up with that stuff? And you're like, yeah, David Lynch. Yeah, well, David Lynch and David Cronenberg. Yeah, they're both, man, they're both very interesting filmmakers. And Boyhood, which I've seen bits and pieces of Boyhood. I've never seen it all, but I gotta give them credit. I really do, especially Richard Linklater, because he's really fantastic. He is really amazing, and I gotta admit, it's a really bold idea to make a movie essentially about, chronicling this boy's life and sort of how he was growing up. It's an interesting movie, interesting idea. I don't know if he 100% pulls it off, but it is really fascinating, though. I can see why Criterion did it, I will say that much. Barry Lyndon, which... great movie. I mean, Barry Lyndon is not for everybody, to be fair, because Stanley Kubrick is an acquired taste, to be fair. He really is. I mean, sometimes he breaks through into the mainstream, like something like The Shining or A Full Metal Jacket, but movies like Barry Lyndon are very fine, high art, and some people don't mind going down that road, and other people just want to stick to the mainstream stuff. If you're willing to go outside of the Stanley Kubrick mainstream, Barry Lyndon is pretty good. We'll say that much. And, Being There, which of course I picked up during the last sale. Great movie. Love it. Man, it's a really great one. And Peter Sellers, man. Peter Sellers is way better than people give him credit for. Everybody thought he was just Pink Panther. He is way more than that. Unfortunately, Pink Panther is kind of always going to be his legacy. But Being There is really amazing, though. There's Badlands. Brazil. Brazil's great. Awesome. Man, I love Terry Gilliam. I am a huge Terry Gilliam fan, man. I mean, I already own this on Criterion, to be fair. I mean, I already own the Blu-ray version of it, but it's just... what I love about Terry Gilliam is he's very eccentric. Extremely eccentric, and he's one of those guys that has a very wild imagination, and the stuff he comes up with is really intriguing and fascinating, and some of it he's able to pull off and some of it he isn't, and I just think he has such a vivid imagination, and unfortunately I think the budget is never up to his imagination. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain times when he has a great idea and a concept, and it's like he could literally throw thousands and millions of dollars at it, and unfortunately he just doesn't have the budget. It's really a shame, but I mean, I think he's very creative in the way that he goes about his visions. He's not a filmmaker that has like, you know, millions and millions and millions of dollars upon his disposal, but I think that opens up your creativity to do something that might not be as big as you were hoping for, but still as vivid as you can imagine, which is really interesting, man. I do really love Brazil quite a bit. Great Blow Up, New World. New World was okay by Terrence Malick. I'm just an okay Terrence Malick fan. I'm not the biggest fan of Terrence Malick. There's a few titles that I like of his. New World was just okay. Wasn't in love with it exactly, but yeah, it was alright. Brenda, Bamboozled. If blue is the warmest color, I've heard good things about this one. Never actually seen it though. Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, great. Russ Meyer, that's awesome. King of the nudies. Man, sometimes I'm amazed. Things that get a Criterion release, man. Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Of course, Blue Velvet is another really amazing one. Speaking of David Lynch, my God, man, this is awesome. So amazing. I love this movie, man. Especially like Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper is nuts in this movie, man. Boy, it's a weird one, but I love it. That's great. The Blob. The original The Blob. I mean, I do love this movie. I'm actually more of a fan of the remake than I am the original, and I know that's probably like sacrilege to a lot of people. I actually still really like the special effects, and I like what they were able to do with it. I don't know, I'm more of a fan of the 80s one. I know you guys are gonna kill me. I don't own it actually on Criterion, to be fair. Brazil, women, cat people. Nice. I've seen the remake long time ago, but I never saw the original. Heard it was actually pretty good. That The Big Chill. I of course already own this one. This is amazing. And what a great cast, man. I mean, Jeff Goldblum, William Hurt, Joe Beth Williams, Meg Tilly, Glenn Close, Tom Berenger, Kevin Kline. Man, what an amazing cast. And what a great movie about your past and seeing old friends and how people change and yet how they're still the same. Very amazing movie, man. A good sort of dramatic comedy in a lot of ways, but man, what an awesome one. That's really cool. Oh, Bottle Rocket. Man, Wes Anderson, Bottle Rocket. That's great. I'm going to be honest with you. Wes Anderson, I like some Wes Anderson. I can't say I like all Wes Anderson. There's certain ones that I really do love, and when I say love, I mean really love. And then there's other ones where I'm just sort of a casual fan of it, and Bottle Rocket is one where I'm just kind of just a casual fan of Bottle Rocket. It's not like his best, but it's not his worst either. And I happen to like it. It's quirky enough to be enjoyable, but not like the best quirkiness you've ever seen from Wes Anderson. You know what I mean? It's not bad though. Bull Durham, one of the best baseball movies of all time. Do you guys disagree with me? I doubt you guys would disagree with me, but Bull Durham is amazing, man. I mean, Kevin Costner is awesome here. Susan Sarandon is stunning. Tim Robbins is great. Awesome movie. Awesome. One of the best sports movies of all time, and one of the best baseball movies. Charlie Chaplin love. Great. Circus, man. I gotta tell you, if you are ever interested in Charlie Chaplin, Criterion is the way to go. They have a ton of Charlie Chaplin, man. I mean, I've only dived into just a little bit of Chaplin, but there are certain ones that I really do love, man. And I gotta give Chaplin credit, man. He was just a really great, just physical actor of the way that he was doing the gags and the stunts and everything. I mean, there were people like him and Buster Keaton were amazing for their time. You'll never see anybody like them, like almost ever again. You really won't. Amazing. Chronos. That is awesome. I do already own Chronos, but this is an amazing movie, and it's the very first theatrical film by Guillermo del Toro, man. And it's a really great, cool little indie vampire tale about this guy that finds this little like trinket that slowly turns him into a bloodsucker, and it's really good. It's very artful and very masterfully done. It's heartfelt, but yet it's terrifying at the same time. Really great. And I love Guillermo del Toro, man. He's one of those rare filmmakers that can do an entertaining movie, whether it's like a foreign language indie film or whether it's a big Hollywood blockbuster. He really can, man. Chronos is awesome. God, I love that one. That's great. Or Children of Paradise. Heard of this one. World War II, huh? Mysterious Woman. Doesn't look half bad. Dazed and Confused. Amazing. I already own this. Actually, I picked it up during the last sale. Amazing movie, man. A really great Richard Linklater movie. Awesome. And the cast here is incredible. Some of these young actors that went on to do huge things, man. Man, what a great sort of time capsule of a movie. And Matthew McConaughey. Come on, it's one of the most iconic Matthew McConaughey movies of all time. It really is. I get older, and they stay the same age. Fantastic. Day Trippers. Oh, Defending Your Life. Oh, man. Oh, boy, do I love this movie, man. Albert Brooks, Meryl Streep. What a really great sort of comedy drama. Man, I love this movie. This is so good. It really is fantastic, man. Is There Love After Death? I happen to actually really like Albert Brooks. I mean, he's not for everybody. He has a certain sort of dry sense of humor that isn't really for everyone, but I happen to really enjoy him, and especially in movies like Defending Your Life. And there's another movie that I really love him in, and that is Mother with Debbie Reynolds, and that is so great. Actually, my mother and I, we love Mother. It's probably one of our favorite movies of all time because it reminded me so much of my grandmother. Like, there are certain things in that movie, like the protective ice over the ice cream, that is so was my grandmother, and we just laugh at that stuff, and it's just stuff that old people would definitely do, man. It's great. That movie definitely deserves a great physical media release. It really does, man. I'm glad this one did too. I really am, man. I really do love this movie. And if I had to go out of my way to defend my life in a courtroom in heaven, oh man, I'd be so guilty. Oh man, I wouldn't even get a chance to speak, man. My life, oh man. At least they could never say that I hate it on physical media. Maybe that actually could get me into heaven. Maybe, possibly. Not bad. Great flick, man. They also have Dead Man with Jim Jarmusch. That's a really good movie, man. I really love that one, especially with Johnny Depp. And this is a Johnny Depp movie not many people talk about, man. 95, really solid film. I like that one. Day Trippers, Dance, Eraser, The Darjeeling Limited. Ah, I gotta admit, like Criterion Collection puts out pretty much all of Wes Anderson's films at one point or another. And this one is one of my least favorite Wes Anderson films. It really is, man. I mean, it's not terrible, all things considered, but as far as like how good Wes Anderson movies are, this is on the lower end of the spectrum. Not many people really go out of their way to really remember this movie, and I can see why. It's less than stellar, Wes Anderson, put it that way. I mean, I do like Jason Schwartz, and I like Adrian Brody, but not exactly my favorite. Then Desert in the Hearts, Oh Blood, ooh, Dressed to Kill, Brian De Palma, man. Love Brian De Palma, man. This is a great Brian De Palma film. It really is, man. My Michael Caine is awesome here. It's great. It has some really awesome twists and turns in there. I think Nancy Allen is fantastic. Angie Dickinson is great. I just love the twists and turns. Like this killer is on the loose, and you think it's one person, but then when it's the other, you're like, oh, whoa, it's great. It's so good, man. It's a great Brian De Palma film. Really, one of his best. At least I think so. Awesome, man. Then, of course, they have Do the Right Thing, which is an amazing Spike Lee movie. One of Spike Lee's best films of all time, dare I say. I love this film. Amazing. Spike Lee is awesome. When he does some really great material, he really knows how to do it. And Do the Right Thing is amazing. Yes, they have Deep Cover. Oh, man. Now, one of the reasons why I decided to come to Barnes & Nobles and do the Criterion sale later on in the month was because of Deep Cover. Deep Cover was coming out later in the month, and I was thinking, ooh, I kind of want Deep Cover. I really do. So I had to wait until it came out, man. Oh, film noir, the mean streets of the 1990s, Los Angeles. Great. Oh, man. I love this movie. It's a really great movie about somebody really going undercover and really trying to take down this cocaine trafficker played by Jeff Goldblum. Like, Jeff Goldblum is so great here. he's Jeff Goldblum. There's the quirkinesses of Jeff Goldblum, but yeah, he plays like the evil bad guy in this movie. It's so great. Oh my god. And he's going up against Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne versus Jeff Goldblum. You would have never thought that would ever be a fucking reality, but it really is, and it's in Deep Cover. It's so good. I love this movie, man. It's got some really great music in here, and it's just a really great film noir exploitation film. Amazing. And Bill Duke is fantastic here as well. Dude, I have to pick this up. This is definitely going to be a buy for sure, man. That is awesome. That have Pocket, The Comfort of Strangers with Christopher Walken. I love that cover. I know nothing about the movie, but just that cover alone makes it totally worth it, man. I love that. They have The Elephant Man, yes. What a great goddamn movie, man. One of David Lynch's best films, and actually a pretty straightforward David Lynch film, but the performances are amazing. Anthony Hopkins, John Hurt, and based on a true story that there was a guy that actually had this condition, and it's just an amazing story about this guy and his life. And I thought that it's just an amazing film of this freak show circus performer that this guy Anthony Hopkins is trying to cure him of his ailment. And I think it's just a really wonderful fun film. Not only the fact that it's black and white, which I love black and white, but I just love the performances. I love the setting. I love the eerie quality of, this guy John Merrick, who is walking around with a bag over his head, and how technically, even though people want to consider him the bad guy, it's actually the everyday average people that are the bad guys, and how they treat him. It's an amazing film, man. What a fantastic fucking movie that is. And so is Eraserhead. Eraserhead is as well. More weird, trippy David Lynch love, man. Boy, David Lynch, when it comes to weird and trippy, he is one of the best. Let's be real. Ooh, Easy Rider. Oh my god, do I love Easy Rider. Now, I already bought this, I think the last sale I think I did, but I do really love this movie, man. And I just love that it's a really great slice of Americana history. I mean, truly, the idea of the motorcycle bikists, the idea of how they go through America and how they're treated as an outsider in a lot of ways. And they're treated as almost kind of like a cancer to society. That honestly, they can't really see past their own hatred to see that these people are individuals in and of themselves, and that they deserve to be treated just like everybody else. It's an amazing film, a fantastic film, and the performances are amazing. I mean, Dennis Hopper is amazing here. Obviously, Jack Nicholson is great. It's just an awesome film, man. And Dennis Hopper, man. Dennis Hopper was one weird-ass dude, man. I mean, he really was, man. Talk about somebody doing crazy drugs and dropping acid and everything. But, he was somebody that was really part of an interesting sort of generational shift, I would say, that I think with Easy Rider was one of those great transitions of how society was changing, and our mindsets was changing, and how people were stuck in the old ways, and trying to get out of the old ways was not as easy as you might think, and people can't really look past somebody's image. It's a really fantastic and amazing film. Love Easy Rider. Ooh, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. One of my favorite Terry Gilliam films of all time, man. Johnny Depp, Benicio del Toro. Oh, man. Based on a Hunter S. Thompson novel. Man, what an amazing film Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is. This is in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I remember when this film came out, man. It came out in 98. Yeah, it did come out in 98. And that was the same year as Godzilla. I think it came out in the same fucking day as Godzilla. And Godzilla just swallowed it whole, dude. I mean, it really did. And no one really ever got a chance to watch it when it was in theaters. And I think people found it later on through home video. and rightfully so, man. I mean, this is another one of those movies, much in the same way as Easy Rider is, about the American dream and the hopelessness of the American dream and how it can be twisted and manipulated through experimental drugs and other means like that. It's a fantastic ride into into politics and sort of how the world is changing and how we change with it. It's very interesting to me, very fascinating. I mean, yes, I'm getting a little deep on you guys, but I think it's such an amazing movie that has so much stuff to say. I mean, it's also a really great quirky comedy on top of that. I mean, Johnny Depp is so off kilter in this movie. I mean, yes, he's done a lot of off kilter performances, but this is probably one of his most off kilter. And Benicio del Toro, man, he comes off as crazy and dangerous and psychotic. I mean, this movie, man, you cannot make a movie like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas nowadays. You just can't do it, man. There's no fucking way you can do that. But that's the beauty of it. And that's what I love about it so much, man. I really do. Dude. And actually, what's crazy is that Johnny Depp and Hunter S. Thompson became huge friends. I mean, he literally lived with Hunter S. Thompson, and he talks about times when, he would go to a bar or club with Hunter S. Thompson, and the guy had like a cattle prod, and he was like prodding people with it so they could get out of the fucking way. I mean, that guy was such a brilliant novelist and poet and somebody who really saw the world for what it was and in some ways was a really great truth teller. And we don't have many of those people anymore in the world. I mean, people like Hunter S. Thompson or even somebody like George Carlin, we don't have those people anymore in the world that really speak it like it is. And I kind of wish we did. I would love to have seen Hunter S. Thompson still survive in the world that we live in today and what he would have to say about that stuff. I think it would be fascinating, but it's movies like Fear and Loathing that I just love. And it's the performances and it's the rock and roll soundtrack and it's just the whole tale of America and the downfall of America. And it's so amazing of a film. It really... Man, it is fantastic. It truly is, man. That is an amazing film. Phenomenal. Ooh, they also have the fantastic Mr. Fox. Nice. More Wes Anderson love, man. Great. I love Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's a really great animated movie, man. I love the characters here. I love the voice acting. I love the story. Really amazing, man. This is definitely a great Wes Anderson movie, and I'm hoping, because I love Dogs, and Criterion has released like everything pretty much that Wes Anderson has done, and I'm hoping, cross fingers, eventually we might just get Isle of Dogs on a great Criterion release, maybe. I'm waiting, guys. I'm waiting for it. That Christopher Nolan following. Christopher Nolan. Before he became sensational with a twisty revenge story, Memento, Christopher Nolan fashion this low budget neo-noir with comparable. Really? I didn't know that Christopher Nolan love was on Criterion. Not bad. Look at that. Pretty cool. I don't think I've ever actually seen Following, but I do like Christopher Nolan. I'm not in love with Christopher Nolan like everybody else is, but when Christopher Nolan does it well, he really does. Following might be interesting. Definitely let me know what you guys think about that. Atlantic Planet, Fisher King. Oh man, I love the Fisher King. Oh man, another really great Terry Gilliam film. What an amazing film with Robin Williams and Jeff Bridges, man. I mean, when people think of Robin Williams, they think of, obviously, old school stuff like Mork and Mindy. They think of, obviously, Mrs. Doubtfire and Good Will Hunting, and they think of certain Robin Williams stuff that he's done, but no one really ever brings up a lot of times Fisher King. And it's such an amazing, amazing film from Robin Williams. And it was really him doing drama way before you had ever seen it in a movie like Good Will Hunting. And he's fantastic here. I think the chemistry between the actors is amazing, and it's probably one of the more straightforward Terry Gilliam movies you've ever seen. I mean, it's not as weird or bizarre as something like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It tells a much more simple tale, but the acting is phenomenal here, and I think the directing is really well done. Amazing movie. That might not be my favorite Terry Gilliam movie, might not be my favorite Robin Williams movie, but a really solid film regardless, man. Really, a really great film. They have that. The Furies. Alfred Hitchcock's foreign correspondent. More Alfred Hitchcock love. Never heard nobody. Nice. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Oh, baby. Love it, love it, love it. This is another one that is one of the greatest sort of high school coming of age comedies of all time. I mean, it's so different than what The Breakfast Club is. I mean, The Breakfast Club is more poignant and meaningful, and I don't really think Fast Times was ever really interested in that. I mean, yeah, you have moments here where they have something to say, I guess, but it's just fun for fun's sake, man. It really is. And I just love the directing by Amy Heckerling. I love the cast here, man. I mean, Judge Reinhold, Sean Penn. I mean, some really young actors here. Phoebe Cates, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Forrest Whitaker, Anthony Edwards, Eric Stoltz. Man, I mean, come on. That scene by the pool area with Phoebe Cates. Come on. Don't tell me for a single second that when you watch this movie, you didn't pause it many, many times. Come on. You were just like Judd Reinhold. Let's be real. Come on, man. It's an amazing movie. It's so fun and entertaining, and I love it so goddamn much. I mean, Spicoli is king. I mean, seriously, man. I really do want to pick this up. However, I'm hearing rumors, there's a lot of rumblings right now, that next year they're going to put out a 4K edition of Fast Times at Ridgemont High. There's rumblings of it. And I don't know, man. Should I pull the trigger on Fast Times Criterion, or should I wait until a 4K edition of Fast Times? That's a tough one, man. I do not know. I'm on the fence. I mean, I love this movie, and I'd love to get it, man. I mean, I can always wait. It's not like this is actually gonna leave the sale anytime soon. I mean, I can hold off and pick it up at another time. I love the movie so damn much. One of these days, whether it's 4K or just the Criterion, it will be in the collection. I guarantee you guys, it will be. Ooh, they do have 5 Easy Pieces. With Nicholson. Younger Nicholson, I should say. Oh, wow. I've seen this movie. I saw this movie back in high school, I think it was. Yeah, there was sort of a class I was in, and they had played 5 Easy Pieces. And I love this movie. It's an amazing film, man. I mean, Nicholson is amazing here. And Karen Black is fantastic as well. It's not a movie that most people think of with Karen Black, but she's phenomenal here. Great Nicholson movie. Underrated Nicholson movie, dare I say. Really great stuff with that one. Or Feathers, men. We'll see. The Great Dictator. More Charlie Chaplin love, man. Yeah, gotta love Chaplin. The Great Escape as well. And Steve McQueen. This is one of Steve McQueen's best films of all time. The Great Escape. Fantastic. Beauty. Graduation. Ghost Dog. The Way of the Samurai. From Jim Jarmusch. Nice. I do love Ghost Dog, man. Ghost Dog's cool. I really good. Forrest Whitaker is amazing here, man. It really is sort of tragic hero tale, and it's a really an amazing film, man. And I think the action is pretty cool here too. Nice. This is a really solid film, man. Great flick. Glad this actually got a Criterion release. Absolutely deserves it, man. Great Gardens. Oh, the Grand Budapest Hotel. Ah, more Wes Anderson love. Gotta love it, baby. Look, I'm gonna be real. There is some Wes Anderson that I love, some Wes Anderson that I hate, and then there's sort of middle ground Wes Anderson. And the Grand Budapest Hotel is, to me, middle ground Wes Anderson. I still like the movie a lot, and I saw this in the movie theater with Bob. We had a fun time with it, man. The quirky and enjoyable characters. We love Ray Fiennes here, man. He's sort of eccentric and yet a smart ass at the same time, which I really love, man. And the rest of the cast is amazing. I mean, some that are regular, everyday Wes Anderson players like Willem Dafoe, Bill Murray, but I mean, some of the other ones as well. I mean, Harvey Keitel's great here, Jude Law, F. Murray Abraham, some really great acting talent here. I guess I would have to revisit this movie. This is one of those ones that I would have to revisit. I really did enjoy the movie. I didn't love it. It wasn't my favorite Wes Anderson, but it wasn't by far the worst. But it one that I might have to revisit. And maybe revisit with a little Criterion love. Maybe? What do you guys think about the Grand Budapest Hotel? Good, bad, indifferent? Definitely let me know, man. And Gunfighter. Ooh. Godzilla. Yes. Oh, Gojira. Great. Oh man, what a fantastic movie this is. The original 1954 Japanese version, along with the Godzilla King of the Monsters in 1956 Americanized version. Yes, I actually have seen both versions, and I'm actually more of a fan of the 54 version than I am the 56 version. I mean, the 56 version is not bad. It's okay. They obviously fit in certain scenes with Raymond Burr, and it's fine, but I like the classic 54 version more. I think it feels more genuine, I think. I've always liked Godzilla. I can't say that I like every Godzilla movie out there, because some Godzilla movies I think are just straight up trash. But the original is really, it's more of a cautionary tale about nuclear war and the effects of it, and it's an amazing film, man. It really is. I mean, obviously we're so far away from the original Godzilla movie. I mean, nowadays, obviously Godzilla King of the Monsters or Godzilla vs. Kong, I mean, those are good movies, but they don't really have a message to them. They're just action for the sake of action's sake, whereas the original is just an amazing tale that really is very hard hitting, and the monster is more of an allegory for the ideas of war, and it's an amazing tale. Really, really, really great, man. Obviously, I'm kind of actually curious. The younger generation who is into the newer Godzilla stuff, would they like the older stuff like this? I mean, I grew up with the older films like this and then went to the newer stuff. But most people watch the newer stuff and then go back to the older stuff and not quite like it as much. I'm kind of curious about that, actually. And they also have, The Game with David Fincher's The Game, man. This is great. This is an amazing movie, man. This is one of my favorite movies from Fincher of all time. It is, man. And it's actually a very underrated Fincher film, to be fair, man. I mean, it really honestly is, because the reason why is that when you think of Fincher, you think of Fight Club, or you think of Seven, and a lot of other ones, which again are amazing films. It's not like they're bad or anything. But this one was always, to me, very underrated, and I like the idea of this guy who is kind of a hard ass and really has no heart in a lot of ways, and has been beaten down in his life by a lot of tragedy, and he starts to play this game. And is it all fake? Is it real? Are they trying to ruin his life? And he's got to try to figure this all out. And this great, unique game of cat and mouse and deception and intrigue, and it's an amazing film. And Michael Douglas does an amazing job in this movie, man. He does, and so does Sean Penn. It's a really great sort of movie about mystery and misdirection, and I love this film so much, man. I really do. This is a very underrated Fincher, man. That is for damn sure. Very, very underrated. Oh, they have Hexon. Yes, from 1922. Man, I have heard actually amazing things about Hexon, and I've never watched it, but people say that it's a really sort of bizarre and dark tale that was told at the time that it did, and it's really gothic horror before gothic horror was really ever a thing. I heard it's an amazing film, and I really do, and it's amazing just for something that was made in 1922 to be this sort of surreal and dark. Really amazing from what I hear. I might have to check that out at some point. I heard fantastic things about that. And Heaven Can Wait. Man, the Beatles, Hard Day's Night, fantastic, man. They don't make them like that no more, that's for damn sure. Ooh, they also have Hedwig and the Angry Inch. What an amazing film this is, man. This is a really great film. Now, what a really amazing and groundbreaking film for the time it came out, man. I mean, obviously they've done many more iterations and stage plays and everything, but this movie is really fantastic. Ooh, they have the Ice Storm, yes, with Ang Lee's Ice Storm, baby. Now, I already own this from Criterion, to be fair, but it's a really amazing movie, and actually a very underrated Ang Lee film, to be fair, man. It takes place during the Nixon era, and it's really about these two families and these are undertones that they have with one another, whether it's sort of this unspoken sexual tension or cultural issues that they're dealing with, and it's sort of the drama of all of that. What an amazing movie with fantastic performances, man. I mean, Joan Allen, Kevin Kline, Christina Ricci, Elijah Wood, fantastic actors in this piece, man. Amazing. Tobey Maguire, Sigourney Weaver. How could I forget Sigourney Weaver in here? She's awesome. I love Sigourney. Yeah, it's a great film, man. This is awesome. Very, very underrated. Deserves a hell of a lot more love than it actually gets, man. Amazing. The Irishman, yes. De Niro, Pacino, Pesci, yes, baby. This is a really phenomenal movie, man. It's Martin Scorsese going back to the mob mentality, and it is awesome, man. I remember when I was gonna watch this, and I had heard everyone like, "Oh my God, it's a 3-hour Sama movie. Jesus Christ, it's a long film," and I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, your point? I mean, I've watched a lot of long 3-hour plus movies. I mean, whether it's Titanic or, I mean, come on, Avengers Endgame was like almost 3 hours, for Christ's sake. As long as the story is good and the performances, and as long as it keeps you entertained and engaged for all those 3+ hours, then what does it really matter, to be honest with you? But this is an awesome film, man, and I love the performances here. I love Scorsese's directing, and I just really love the idea of the de-aging process with De Niro, Pacino, and Pesci, and how it actually works pretty well, honestly. For the most part, it's convincing, and it just took me back to those old school days of Scorsese directing some of the stuff like Goodfellas and everything, man. What an amazing movie, dude. It's just a really fantastic crime saga in a lot of ways. It really is. And an amazing tale, really talking about the decisions that we make and mortality, and how one wrong thing that you do could cost you your life, and the complications and the difficulties of that. the drama of it, the mistakes that we make in our lives. I mean, there's so many wonderful things that The Irishman covers, and it's such a well done movie, man. And on top of that, it's entertaining as well. I mean, when I watched it the first time, the 3+ hours flew by, man. So anybody that says a movie is 3+ hours and that you should stay away from it because it's that long, then obviously they're missing out on a lot of cinema that is absolutely amazing. And The Irishman is one that you don't want to miss, man. Absolutely, that is awesome. And, I want to hold your hand. I love that art. That artwork's great. Oh, I love that. That's great. Oh, cool. Then the special edition of The Irishman. That is a must-have. Of course, I already do own it. Then, like Hero, Island of Lost Souls, very nice. Charles Lawton, Bela Lugosi, great. Man, I love Bela Lugosi. So good. Island of Lost Souls, it's awesome. It happened one night. Ooh. In the heat of the night. Oh, I had to do it, guys. I mean, come on. They call me Mr. Tibbs. Great. Oh my God, what an amazing movie, man. And way ahead of its time, dude. Way ahead of its time. Rod Steiger's amazing. Or Sidney Poitier is on fire in this film, man. I love the scene in the garden with that guy, and he sort of treats Sidney Poitier as this sort of second-class citizen almost, even though he's the investigator on the case, and he smacks Sidney Poitier, and Sidney Poitier like immediately smacks him right back, and like he says, well, are you gonna do something about this? And it's like oh, like the racial tension in this film, man, is like white hot, man. But it's so amazing, man. The performances are fantastic in that. In Cold Blood is amazing as well. The In-Laws, which is a good little movie. It's not a bad film. I do enjoy it. I actually enjoy this more than the remake. They had the remake come out with Albert Brooks and Michael Douglas. Not as much of a fan of that, but the original is not bad. Hoop Dreams. Yes. Girlfriends, which is a pretty solid movie. Girlfriends, not bad actually. Some really great Criterion love so far. I mean, it's Criterion. Why wouldn't you love it? Oh yeah, more Criterion Collection love. Yep. And more potential money for me to spend. You gotta love that Criterion Collection 50% love. You really do. Just more of an excuse for me to spend money. It is, let me tell you. Let's see what they got on this side. They got, Clute, not bad. Got The Killers. Don Siegel. Yeah, the old school Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Don Siegel, yeah. Short tale of The Killers. Analog storytelling. Huh. Looks interesting. The Last Emperor, pretty solid movie, actually. Not sure if I would ever own it, but it is a solid film, though. More Charlie Chaplin love. That. I love that cover. Le Poison. It's a great cover. I gotta tell you, I don't always love every single cover that Criterion does. Sometimes I'd love to see them do the original artwork, but there's certain ones that look really cool. And I'm just wondering, like, how do they come up with these artwork? Like, what kind of concepts do they do? Do they just go to an artist and be like, this is the movie, and sort of come up with their own cool, sort of clever little artwork to it? Sometimes the artwork is really cool. Sometimes it's really simple. But I gotta give Criterion credit, because they do some really unique artwork, man, that you've never seen before. Gotta love it, man. Ooh, the lore. The lore is amazing. I already actually own this on physical from Criterion, but if you guys have never seen the lore, I highly recommend it, man. Basically, it's almost like this fantasy style musical horror drama in a lot of ways. It's kind of really weird, very dreamlike almost, about these two mermaids who come up from the surface, and they're like lounge singers, and they lure people in by their singing, and they kill them and eat them. Very weird and odd movie, but I really love this movie. It's really a fantastic one. Really amazing, very underrated one to check out. It's one of like the more newer ones that Criterion puts out. Criterion mostly puts out a lot of older films, but ever so occasionally they put out like newer films, and The Lure is one of them. Moonstruck. Amazing. I do love Moonstruck. Of course, I picked it up during the last sale. Moonstruck is amazing. Honestly, I'm sort of just an okay Cher fan. I mean, Cher is not bad. She's not terrible. But it depends on her roles. Some roles are better than others. Moonstruck, I think, is her best role by far, man. I mean, she's lovable here. She's heartwarming. She pulls off the comedy. She pulls off the drama. The actual connection between her and Nicolas Cage, I think, is amazing. And I love the old school sort of Italian feel to this movie. Sort of the Italian comedy of it. I just think it's great. I watched this movie back in the day on VHS with my mother. In fact, my mother is one of her favorite films of all time. It's a really fantastic movie. So glad that this got love. That is an awesome film. Then Polanski. Ooh, Memories of Murder. Yeah, Bong Joon-ho. Yeah, you guys have told me about this one. I think some of you have told me that this one is worth picking up. And actually, I am a semi kind of Bong Joon-ho fan. I appreciate his work quite a bit. He's actually an amazing artist, man. I mean, Parasite is incredible. And I haven't dived into all of his work. And one of you guys ended up suggesting Memories of Murder, that it's really good. I might have to give this one a buy. I might have to do it. I mean, you guys recommended it. You guys said if I liked some of the Bong Joon-ho stuff like Parasite, I definitely would enjoy Memories of Murder. I might have to give this one a look. That one looks good. I like that one. They got that. Ooh, they do have Midnight Cowboy, which of course I already picked up, by the way, but this is an awesome film. I love this one. I mean, just the really great, amazing chemistry between Dustin Hoffman and Jon Voight is incredible here. And I love sort of the old school New York City seediness of like those old school days of, like, you know, the hookers and the drugs, and sort of the seedy world of life in New York City, man. There's certain movies that capture that really well, and Midnight Cowboy does that in spades, man. I love that, man. I just love the idea of this guy, Jon Voight, who basically thinks that he's a women's man, and figures that he can make a living basically being a male prostitute, and just his life goes upside down, man. Just a world of opportunity and life that, man, you just realize how tough the world is sometimes. And I love this movie, man. It's just really cool. God, Midnight Cowboy's awesome, and Dustin Hoffman is incredible in this movie. And Merrily We Go to Hell. And I love it. Merrily We Go to Hell as they're looking at each other at a wedding. Fantastic. Oh boy, that looks interesting. More Charlie Chaplin love. Never a bad thing. Ooh, My Own Private Idaho. Man, I actually forgot that Criterion had actually put this out before. Gus Van Sant, yeah. River Phoenix and Keanu Reeves. Oh man, I haven't seen this movie in like forever. 1991. Damn. Dude, this is a blast from the past, man. I do really love old school Keanu Reeves movies. I love that so much, man. And River Phoenix, man, River Phoenix was so amazing for his time. Man, and he died way too early. Man, is a really good one. It really is. I haven't seen this in decades, to be honest with you. But I really do love Gus Van Sant as an artist, man. I mean, most people, when they think of Gus Van Sant, they think of um, Good Will Hunting is what they do. But you look at movies that he did, like My Own Private Idaho, amazing film, man. Really a very deep, sort of almost great coming of age drama. Man, fantastic. I can't believe this might potentially actually be a pickup. That might just be, man. That Mulholland Drive, some more weird David Lynch love. Man, David Lynch. I gotta tell you, I always love diving into David Lynch. He's just one weird filmmaker that has some really amazing and fascinating stuff, man. He really does. Damn. Marriage Story, which of course I picked up during the last sale. Marriage Story is amazing. I remember when my girlfriend wanted to watch this on Netflix, and I said, "Are you sure you want to watch Marriage Story? Because it's about sort of a couple that falls out of love with one another and the complications and the drama of that. I mean, I do you really want to watch that with someone you love?" I was like, "Oh no." And honestly, it was an incredible movie. Scarlett Johansson is amazing in it. Adam Driver is fantastic. It really reminded me of like Kramer versus Kramer. Amazing, incredibly well told movie, man. God, it is really fantastic of a film. Night of the Living Dead. Oh man, what an amazing movie. One of the best zombie movies of all time. Actually, the originator of the modern zombie movie and the creator, George Romero, the godfather of zombie movies. Yes, indeed, man. Night of the Living Dead is amazing. Man, do I love this movie. And actually, it still works to this day. Yeah, it's not as gory or as crazy as some of the other zombie movies out there, but I don't think it ever had to be. It was a nice little movie about claustrophobia, about fear and how fear affects you and the paranoia of that. Amazing. It's really a fantastic film, man. And honestly, there's been a lot of different editions of Night of the Living Dead that has come out for many, many years. There's been a ton of them. I mean, there really honestly has, man. I mean, there's been a huge amount of DVD editions and Blu-ray editions that have been out there. I think this is one of those movies that is actually public domain. So a lot of companies can just put out any old edition of Night of the Living Dead that they want because they're not going to get in trouble essentially for it. But I gotta admit, this edition is probably one of the best editions ever to come out of Night of the Living Dead, man. I mean, truly, it is. It is amazing in so many ways. I gotta admit, if you are a lover of zombie movies of any kind, if you're a lover of Romero, Night of the Living Dead is a must-buy, man. It still is an amazing film to this day. I mean, decades later, the film still works, and that's a testament to George Romero himself. Amazing, man. Amazing. Great. Oh, and speaking of more classic love, Night of the Hunter with Robert Mitchum. Man, this is amazing. Robert Mitchum, dude, he was imposing and scary, especially in this movie, man. He's going after this sort of loot that he's after, and he's going after these kids, trying to get the loot and killing people that get in his way. I mean, it's a movie that, yeah, I guess you could make it nowadays. You could remake the film, but there's a certain level of sinisterness and downright intimidation that Robert Mitchum has that, yeah, people have it to this day, but they don't have it the way that Mitchum had it, man. I mean, he could turn on a dime. There's 1 minute where he could be incredibly charming and lovable, and you think to yourself, like this guy's a nice dude. And then the next minute, he could just be this really angry and mean and heartless individual that will stop at nothing to get revenge on you and to get what he wants. It's amazing of a movie, man. Night of the Hunter is fantastic, man. That's a great flick. That they've got Night on Earth. with Jim Jarmusch. Don't think I've ever heard of this one. 5 city, 5 taxi cabs, a multitude of strangers in the night. Huh. Is that like Roberto Benigni? I think it is. Yo. I think I've only seen like Roberto Benigni like 1 or 2 movies. Like I've seen him in that Pinocchio film, and then I saw him in like Life is Beautiful. That's it. That's interesting. Jim Jarmusch. Jim Jarmusch is a unique filmmaker. There's certain movies that I really love, and other movies where I'm like, not the greatest. These are half and half for me. Never heard of that one though. Phoenix. Night to Remember. Really, really great old school one. John Waters. Great. Multiple Maniacs. A celluloid atrocity. Oh my god. Divine. Man, do you remember Divine? Man, I gotta give that chick a lot of credit, man, because good god, dude. Man, she would do anything on screen, and there are times when you watched it, you're like, damn, man. I could see why John Waters really featured and loved her as much as he did, man, because in fact, in a lot of ways, I would consider Divine, in a lot of ways, sort of John Waters' muse, in a way, because there's certain movies, even something like Polyester, which is like, you wouldn't have been able to do those movies without Divine in them. And I think Divine just made those John Waters movies more ridiculous, but yet more lovable and yet endearing at the same time. It's so crazy, man. I can't say that I love everything John Waters, but I gotta tell you, man, when John Waters makes a really weird, insanely, odd comedy of a movie, it will work. Not everything, but at moments, it is amazing, though. Give him credit, man. Give him amazing credit. Ooh, On the Waterfront. Now that is an amazing movie from Marlon Brando. I gotta admit, I think I watched this back in high school. I think I did. It was like some sort of class I was in, and they were showing On the Waterfront. And it was just an amazing movie. And I had heard of Marlon Brando from, obviously, Apocalypse Now and other films, Superman, but seeing him here, young, and how amazing he was as an actor, I could see why he was beloved as he was, especially for the time. Amazing film, man. A fantastic movie. Damn. This is one of the best. This is like a masterclass in acting and directing, and Marlon Brando deserved the love that he got. I mean, yes, Marlon Brando's kind of a joke now, or at least he was back in the day, but you look at movies like On the Waterfront, and they really see why he was as good at acting as he was. Just the truth, man. The Princess Bride. Yes. An amazing movie. One of the best sort of fantasy films of all time, man. It really is. I love the comedy. I love the characters. I love the fantasy elements here. Like, it's such an interesting movie because a lot of kids who grew up with this movie have kids now, and they watch The Princess Bride. And I can see why, because it's a movie that you pass down. There's certain movies that are like that you pass down from generation to generation, and The Princess Bride is one of them. I mean, it really honestly is. It's fantastic, man. I love this movie. I really do. I mean, Gary Elwes is really amazing here. I love Billy Crystal in here, Andre the Giant. I mean, it just has such an endearing quality to it. I love this movie so much. It's so cool. That have the more limited edition of Princess Bride as well, with the digibook, which this is the one I actually own, by the way. That's a great edition. And Punch Drunk Love. Some serious Adam Sandler. I can't say that I love everything Adam Sandler, especially like later Adam Sandler. It's a little too ridiculous, and it's a little too, I don't know, just kind of like goofy for goofy's sake, I would say. But there was a time when I really loved Adam Sandler, and I remember when I saw Punch Drunk Love, and it was like serious Sandler. It was like him going for his sort of like Oscar moment, and I was like, Sandler, serious, really? And I gotta admit, it's a great film. It really is, man. I mean, him and Emily Watson are great in this movie, and it's just one of those films that really surprised me when it came out. I think it's an amazing film, man. I mean, I can't believe, holy shit, 2002. Man. Shit, next year this is going to be 20 years old. Holy shit. Damn, man. I would have never thought this would have been a almost 20-year-old movie. It actually is still good. Honestly, still so good to this day, man. It really is. The Royal Tenenbaums. Yes. Oh my god. Another Wes Anderson special. I can't say that this is my favorite Wes Anderson movie of all time, but honestly, it is one of the very solid Wes Anderson films. It's really odd and really quirky, and you kind of just like love this weird and odd family, and just sort of the odd circumstances that go on. And it's just so weird. But I gotta admit that one of the things that Wes Anderson does well is he brings in all of these actors to do these quirky performances that you've never seen from them before. People like Angelica Houston or Gene Hackman. I mean, Danny Glover. I mean, some are just weird and quirky and love doing it in a lot of films. Like, you look at like Owen Wilson or Bill Murray that has worked with Wes Anderson a lot. But some of these people just really go for it in a great way. And Royal Tenenbaums is one of those movies, man. Really fantastic. I love it. Then, Personal Shopper with Kristen Stewart, right? Yeah, it is a Kristen Stewart one. I actually really love this one a lot. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I heard it's really good. The moments that I've seen in it have been really fantastic. I haven't seen the whole thing though, but heard Kristen Stewart, well, from what I've seen, it's been amazing in it. But everyone says it's a fantastic film throughout. Then again, it is Kristen Stewart, and she was in Twilight, so yeah, no. I can't really fault her, honestly. I mean, Twilight is terrible. Okay, but I do think she's better than Twilight, and I think movies like this and other ones sort of showcase her better talents, but people just can't seem to get away from the whole Personal Shopper thing. I'm telling you. Prince of Tides. Yes. Oh my god, the Prince of Tides, man. Barbra Streisand. You guys have no idea how many Barbra Streisand movies I have seen. I've seen a lot of them. You gotta remember, okay, I'm Jewish. And I have a Jewish mother, okay? And it's already predetermined that any Jewish mothers instantly love Barbra Streisand. Okay? It's just instant, alright? And, I mean, I've seen practically all of them, man. I mean, Yentl and this one, and you name it, I've probably seen the damn thing. And I've learned to love Barbra Streisand. I can't say that I love everything Barbra Streisand, truth be told, but there are certain ones that I really do love, and I actually like this one quite a bit. I think the chemistry between her and Nolte are really amazing. It's really great. I love it. It's not for everybody. Then again, Barbra Streisand isn't really for everybody, but it is really good, though. Repo Man. Great. Emilio Estevez. 84. That is nice. Love that, man. Now, I gotta admit, I only saw this movie because my friend Ron let me borrow his Criterion edition, and I actually thought it was a cool little punkish style movie, man. I mean, it's not perfect. I don't outright love the movie, but I really love him in it. Harry Dean Stanton is really cool as well. Repo Man's not bad, actually. I don't own it on Criterion or nothing, but it's not a bad movie though. Oh, Roman Polanski's Repulsion. That is an amazing movie, man. And Roman Polanski is an amazing filmmaker. Yes, he's not exactly the most uh, politically correct people in the world, especially things that he's done in his life. Let's be real. But as far as like a filmmaker is concerned, he is an amazing filmmaker. I mean, you can't deny how great he is as a filmmaker. You really can, man. Movies like The Repulsion is awesome, or even The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp, which is, one of his more technically recent films, if you think about it. But I mean, that's an amazing film. He's a good filmmaker when he gets the right material. He really is. Lies, Rebecca, Game, The Royal Tenenbaums, Rushmore. Now, Rushmore. Now, I've said that there's certain Wes Anderson movies that I absolutely love and cherish. Rushmore is one of them. I love Rushmore. It is so sarcastic, and it's one of those movies that this kid that you kind of love to hate this kid, man. And the rivalry that he has with Bill Murray is fantastic, man. I just love this movie. It's sort of has a mean spirit to it, but I sort of revel in that. I really do, man. Of just like this kid that wants to ruin this guy's life because he technically likes this girl that he's into, and it's just the rivalry between them. Man, do I love this movie. This is great. Love Rushmore, man. That's awesome. The Red Balloon, which is an inspiration for a lot of filmmakers out there. Raisin in the Sun, which is great. Sidney Poitier. That. Of course, they do have Roma, which I didn't actually see Roma. I mean, I saw bits and pieces of it, but I didn't see the whole thing. I heard it's an amazing movie, and I do like Alfonso Cuarón, man. I mean, Waitu Mama Tambian. That is a pretty damn good film, man. So I do like him. Eventually, I gotta dive into Roma, man. But I do actually really love the fact that Criterion has put out these editions on the format, because I think a lot of us were very worried about, okay, these are just on Netflix and they're staying there and they're never getting physical releases whatsoever. And I'm happy to say that they did get good editions, and I'm really happy for that. I really, really am, man. I mean, it kind of gives me hope for the future. Not saying everything is going to get a physical media release, but if these ones can, it's a possibility others will as well. Just saying. Oh, some like it hot. Yes. I love this movie. Of course, I already own it on Criterion, but this is a really great one, man. Man, I love this movie. Billy Wilder did an awesome job here. Jack Lemmon is hilarious. Tony Curtis is really solid here. And, come on, Marilyn Monroe. Man, Marilyn Monroe was just one of the most gorgeous women, in my opinion, ever to grace the screen, really. I mean, she wasn't the best actress of all time. I mean, really, I think that, honestly, she probably could have done better with some acting classes. I was just saying. But, I mean, I think her overall glow and her charm on the screen just came through more than the acting did. And she's one of those people that you just couldn't take your eye off of. And that's really the one thing that I take away from some like her. I mean, I take away a lot of stuff. It's funny as hell, but just Marilyn Monroe herself was just a darling of a woman that I just would have loved to seen more stuff from her. She died way too soon in life, and it's movies like Some Like It Hot that I really hold dear to myself, because it's just one of those great showcases of a really great talent that Marilyn Monroe was. I mean, truly. Oh, Sid and Nancy. Nice. Great sort of punk movie. Great. Sex Pistols. Awesome. Gary Oldman is amazing here. Then again, it's Gary Oldman. He's like pretty much amazing in anything he does. Sid and Nancy is really awesome, man. Love Sid and Nancy. That Secrets and Lies. Sisters, which is a really good Brian De Palma movie. Great flick, man. Really love that. And Marco Kidder is awesome here. Really great. Love this movie. Very underrated De Palma. And Slacker. Ooh, with Richard Linklater. Seriously. I don't think I've ever seen Slacker before. I do love Richard Linklater. Well, most of his movies. Some work better than others. I heard Slacker was pretty good. 1991, huh? A day in the life of a subculture. Really? Let me know how Slacker is. I would definitely be interested in picking up Slacker. I may have to give it a watch at some point. I will say this. Richard Linklater was a really great voice for a new generation that was coming up at that time. Because if you look at the 80s, John Hughes was the voice for teens in that generation. And I think Richard Linklater was one of those voices for a generation in the 90s. I think him and somebody like Kevin Smith and a couple other people were definitely voices of a certain generation. There's certain decades where certain filmmakers are more influential at that time period, and I think Richard Linklater was. Maybe not as much nowadays, but back in the day, definitely so. And I think his films still relate to a certain set of people out there, and I definitely appreciate that. I mean, he's not John Hughes, but then again, I think he carved out his own brand that I really do appreciate. Not bad, actually. Smooth Talk, not bad. They've got that one. Ooh, Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Amazing. Steven Soderbergh, man. I love Steven Soderbergh. Steven Soderbergh is amazing, man. I love that guy. Probably one of my favorite directors of all time, dare I say. I don't own Sex, Lies, and Videotape on physical, and I have no idea why. At some point, I've got to. They only have the DVD. I don't know if they have the Blu-ray or not, but man, Sex, Lies, and Videotape. What I think I love about Steven Soderbergh as much as I do is that Steven Soderbergh is one of those filmmakers that really likes to do something unique and different with every film that he does. It's not like he tries to do the same thing over and over again. He's not trying to outdo himself, but he's trying to sort of do new things with new technologies and new ways of filmmaking that maybe enhance the story and the characters, and I really appreciate that from a filmmaker. Some filmmakers are just content to keep on doing the same thing that they're doing, but Steven Soderbergh likes to mix it up, and I really appreciate that, man. Really, really good. God, I gotta get that at some point. I really do. Nice. The Thin Red Line. Now, I told you that I'm not a huge fan of Terrence Malick. Some movies I think are better than others, and The Thin Red Line is probably, as far as Terrence Malick is concerned, probably my favorite of the stuff Terrence Malick has done. I mean, really, it's really actually an underrated war film. This came out, I think, the same year as Saving Private Ryan. And, of course, which one was the more popular movie? It was Saving Private Ryan, and you can't really fault that movie. It's an amazing film, but it just got swallowed up by Saving Private Ryan in a big bad way, man. And I think it's a much better war film than people give it credit for. I mean, really. And I think the cast is absolutely amazing here. I mean, Woody Harrelson, Nick Nolte, Sean Penn, and a host of others. It's an amazingly well-directed, well-acted movie about the dramas and the effects of being in war. Fantastic film, man, that doesn't nearly get as much love as it deserves. Really, really great film. Stagecoach, Speedy. Silence of the Lambs. You know, when I watch this movie, you know, I drink it with a nice Chianti and a little bit of liver. Doesn't anybody? Of course, I'm sick in the head, guys. Oh, man. What a really fantastic movie, man. And Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter is amazing. Man, and Anthony Hopkins is awesome here. He really is, dude. He's absolutely fantastic. I mean, him and Jodie Foster are amazing, and it's kind of interesting because Hannibal Lecter, that character, technically took over the film in a lot of ways. People were really only talking about Hannibal Lecter. I mean, yes, Anthony Hopkins is that good, but I think it's so much more than that. It's very psychological and it's very disturbing. It puts the lotion on it, doesn't its toe. I mean, Buffalo Bill. There's so much iconic stuff in this movie, man. And what an amazing movie by Jonathan Demme, who unfortunately, sadly, is no longer with us. It's such a damn shame, man. Such a really fantastic movie. It really is. You just can't make them like Silence of the Lambs anymore. You really can't, dude. I mean, as much as I love Hannibal and as much as I love Red Dragon, and I do, I think those movies are really good. They're not Silence of the Lambs. To be fair, they're just not, man. Shorts, Nancy, Scanners, David Cronenberg, man. This is another one of those weird David Cronenberg movies. I love this movie, man. It's great. It's really weird. But then again, this is David Cronenberg. We're talking about everything he does. Well, mostly everything. Later Cronenberg is a little more streamlined, but earlier Cronenberg, things like this and The Fly, even a later movie in some ways like Existence, is just really bizarre and out there. But I love the sort of sci-fi aspect of this with like the mind control and sort of like literally exploding somebody's head with your mind and thoughts. And it's like, whoa, like that whole like head exploding scene is amazing. Like if there's one thing you remember from that is the head exploding scene, and that is fucking awesome. That's great. Gotta love Cronenberg. Then Shampoo, Warren Beatty, Goldie Hawn, man. This is an old school one I haven't seen in damn long time, dude. Julie Christie, Lee Grant. Oh, man. Great film, man. Warren Beatty was awesome. And what incredible hair he had back in the day. Great. Oh, man, what an awesome movie. It's a good one. Room with a View. Thief, really great one with James Caan, man. And a great Michael Mann movie. That's an awesome film. That, Thin Blue Line, I Live by Night. Ooh, Time Bandits. Oh, so good. Another Terry Gilliam one I love. I honestly can't say that this is my favorite Terry Gilliam because honestly it ranks, I would say, in the middle. Like I love things like Brazil and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Fisher King, you name it, stuff like that I really do love. This one is not bad. It's still incredibly creative and really just and a major invention of fantasy and of exploration. I really do love this. I do think a movie like Baron Munchausen is probably a little bit better in my mind than Time Bandits, but Time Bandits is a really solid Gilliam flick. I really do. And most people actually forget that Sean Connery was even in this film, but he actually is, and he's good in it too. Then again, he's Sean Connery. He was Bond. He's good in everything. Come on, man. He's fantastic. Seriously. Amazing. Oh, man, that's cool. That Tree of Life, which, by the way, I never really understood the Tree of Life. I mean, I've watched it maybe once more than I should have. I watched it like 2 or 3 times in general, and sometimes I don't understand what the fuck I just watched. Like, this is another one of those things like with Terrence Malick, man. I mean, he's such a, I would say, an obscure director. He's very abstract, and at times you understand what he's going for and what his intentions are, and then there's certain moments when you watch other films and you're like, geez, I know it's about like family and this father-son relationship. I was like, what's up with like the like going into space and shit. Like it's weird, but I kind of get it, but some of the shit goes over my head. I ain't gonna lie, man. I love cinema, but some things are really confusing as shit, and this happens to be one of them, man. I love Malick, but boy, he goes into some really wild territories. He really does, man. The Last Temptation of Christ. Amazing Scorsese film. Actually, an incredibly underrated Scorsese film, man. I mean, there's a lot of people that love Scorsese. I mean, me included. And you think of things like Casino and Goodfellas and a lot of other ones that he's done. Last Temptation of Christ maybe doesn't really rank high among popular Scorsese, but a really amazing film. And Willem Dafoe is fantastic in the movie. Amazing. Tarkovsky, Travels, there, Temple Drake, Sweet Smell of Success, nice, I got that. Ooh, Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me. Oh, another one of those David Lynch specials. And, oh Lord, Twin Peaks. You know, I do really love Twin Peaks. I love the whole series and the movie. I mean, it is confusing. And there are literally moments when I watch Twin Peaks and I think to myself, how did they come up with some of this shit, man? It's all in the mind of Lynch, and the stuff he comes up with, like the nightmarish scenery and images. Man, you're like, there's moments when I look at a film like this and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be inside that guy's head. Like seriously. I mean, is Twin Peaks the most straightforward like story ever told? No, it's really confusing, and there's moments where you just don't even know what you're doing with the plot, and you just sort of go with it, and you're just like, you hope it works out in the end. I will say Twin Peaks, the movie and the series, is just incredibly fascinating, and it's just one of those really quirky, mysterious shows that caught fire at a certain time where I don't know if it would do the same thing nowadays, but back in the day, man, it really caught people, and the whole sort of mysterious thing about who killed Laura Palmer, it really took the world by storm. And I just love the world of Twin Peaks. Bizarre, weird, crazy, odd. What the hell is going on with the Black Lodge? Well, your guess is as good as mine, but I do love the ride, I gotta admit. I really do. Then they got, Traffic, another really great Soderbergh movie. Love this one. Really great drug war film. Love it. Fantastic film. Being John Malkovich. What an amazing movie this is. Malkovich. Oh my God, what an amazing film. And I just think to myself, like, who came up with the fucking idea of, like, there's a little room and you go inside that little room and you're inside of John Malkovich's head and you're controlling him? That is so weird of a concept and idea, but I love it, man. And it's just so weird and odd and quirky that you can't help but love it, man. And I love John Cusack here. I think he's amazing. I think Charlie Kaufman, man, the stuff that he writes is just so out there, but yet incredibly fascinating, man. It's amazing. And Malkovich, I gotta give John Malkovich a lot of credit, because I can only imagine them coming to him with the concept and the idea, and you want me to be in this? You go in my head, and like I dress up as weird chicks and do weird shit. It's such a cerebral comedy of a movie, man, that really can only be made really ever by a filmmaker like Spike Jonze, that can do quirky, that can do weird, that can do drama and the comedy, and yet put it all together into something that's actually digestible to the public. That's kind of crazy to me, man. Being John Malkovich is great. Oh, and another one I really love, Tootsie. Oh man, This is another one. This is an old school one I watched back in the day. Of course, I already own it on Criterion, but I love this movie, man. And it's such an interesting movie that was way ahead of its time, if you really think about it. And a long while back, I showed this movie to my girlfriend because my girlfriend is very much a feminist in a lot of ways. And I appreciate that about her. And I showed her this movie because I was like, I wanted to know what she thought about this movie, because I would be interested to see what her thoughts were. And she did really enjoy the movie. She felt like they got certain things right in the film as far as representation and how it would feel to be a woman, and other times they maybe strayed a little bit far away from that, but she appreciated the effort. And I gotta admit, it's a movie that tries to have a message, but yet tries to be a very fascinating comedy as well. And I gotta admit, Dustin Hoffman does an amazing job here, and I love... there's interviews on this disc where he talks about being a woman and dressing up as a woman, and how people would ignore him as he was dressed up as her, and how he felt what it was like to sort of have the pressures of society on you. It's a very fascinating and interesting movie that has more going for it than I think people just see. Like, on the surface, there's just one thing, but if you dive deeper into the movie, there's so much more to it. A very amazing film. I love Tootsie, man. Great film. To be or not to be, that is the question. And Blonde, the Kid, Election, Something Wild. Another really amazing Jonathan Demme movie. Love this. Melanie Griffith. Oh my God, man. Remember when Melanie Griffith was like a big thing in Hollywood, and she was like the like it girl at the time? And yeah, Something Wild was one of those moments. Love Jeff Daniels in here, and Ray Liotta as well. Amazing, fantastic. Loved all of that a lot. Virgin Suicides. Oh man, talk about a movie that is depressing as shit, man. God, I mean, it's a phenomenal movie. It is an absolutely phenomenal film, and Sofia Coppola did an amazing job with this. I love Kristen Stewart here. Amazingly well acted, and just an amazing coming-of-age tale. But man, is it a downer of a film. But it is really fantastic, though. I love that film. Watership Down. The Weekend. Very nice. I like that cover. That is a sign. Working Girls. Interesting. We're gonna pray with Radical and Lizzie Borden's immersive, richly detailed look at them. Don't think I've ever heard of Working Girls. It's interesting. I love the cover though. Lizzie Borden. Oh man, and interesting. Let me know what you guys think of that one. That's cool. That Videodrome. One of my favorite David Cronenberg movies of all time. It is amazing. I love this film. And this film is another one that was way ahead of its time, talking about how technology will consume us and become our enemy. I mean, who would have ever thought that technology would be where it is now? But David Cronenberg actually, in a weird way, kind of predicted it. I mean, not to the extent that it is now, but the fact that he kind of called it out, of how we would be a slave to it in a lot of ways. And Videodrome is amazing. It is really a phenomenal film. I mean, James Woods is fantastic here. Debbie Harry, great. Oh, this is an awesome film. Love that. And the effects in here is awesome. When he's like going inside of his stomach and grabbing that gun out and everything. And that is some fucked up shit, man. David Cronenberg, where the hell did he come up with that shit? Damn. Twisted Mind, let me tell you. Wildlife with Carey Mulligan and Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh, this one I definitely haven't heard of. Really? Directorial debut of Paul Dano. Shit. Well, that's interesting. Coming of age tale. That might be an interesting thing to check out. That could be cool. That... War and Peace, War of the Worlds, amazing. The Classic. Way better than the Tom Cruise one. I know, some people just love the Tom Cruise one, but this one way more classic. All that Criterion Collection love, baby. Look at this. Man. I mean, they don't have everything, to be fair, but they have got quite a lot, man. I mean, they got a lot of good titles over on this side and, of course, on the other side as well. 50% off, man. It only happens a couple times a year. And let's be real, you gotta take advantage of it. And every time it happens, my wallet cries just a little bit more. Oh, yes, Criterion love indeed, guys. I mean, come on, how can you really beat it? There's a lot of really wonderful Criterion titles out there worth grabbing. I mean, hell, there's even some over here that wasn't over in that section. I mean, they have Jackie Chan, Police Story, and Police Story 2. Some of the best Jackie Chan, by the way. I mean, they have that. They also have a little Muhammad Ali love. Muhammad Ali, one of the best of all time when we were kings. Muhammad Ali was definitely a king. I mean, they had that. Bowling for Columbine. The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. My favorite of all the Wes Anderson movies. My favorite of all of his. The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Amazing. Fantastic, man. You gotta love the Criterion sale, man, for 50% off. Some of the really amazing titles that you can get are, man, it's out of this world. It's a sale that I love all the time because you find some really unique and interesting gems. You find some oddities that you never thought actually existed. And you find some classics that are well worth owning and revisiting. That is for damn sure, guys. Really amazing stuff this time around for the Criterion sale. I love it every single time it happens. And it always hurts my wallet just a little bit more every single damn time. Absolutely. Hope you guys enjoyed diving into some Criterion Collection love. Let's head home and see if I actually was able to only get $100 worth of Criterion. No. Let's see what I got. All right, everybody, I am back from the Criterion 50% off sale. Yes. Oh, baby, you gotta love it. Every single time the sale happens, we all just fly to it because, let's be real, we're always wanting something from the Criterion sale. Okay, literally, there's always something to get every single damn time. So, you never really leave empty-handed. Let's be real, guys. You never really do. So, I told you guys, I said, hey, I'm gonna have $100 and I'm only gonna get $100 worth of Criterion. Do you think I was able to accomplish that, guys? Do you think I was able to get only a certain amount of Criterions for just that $100? No. No, I miserably failed. I really failed, man. And trust me, I was trying. I was trying. I literally had a whole stack in my hand, and I was like, maybe this one can go, but I kind of want this one. I was pitiful. It was bad, guys. So yes, I spent way over the $100 limit. I Man, I really screwed the pooch on that one. I really did, man. The stack that I got, man. Oh yeah, it was way over the $100 limit. Way over. Oh man, and mind you, there are a lot of stuff that I left at Barnes and Noble. There is a lot of stuff that I wanted that I said, okay, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna wait until the next sale. I didn't want to do it, but I was like, man, if I took everything that I wanted from Barnes and Noble, I would have probably spent like $500 easily. Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen, man. I wasn't gonna be spending a lot of money. I mean, I spent enough. Oh, I spent enough, trust me, man. And a lot of those things, I'm just like, hey, I save it for the next sale. And I think that's what a lot of us do, don't we? We end up picking certain ones we want, and other ones we say, hey, we're gonna wait until the next sale. And I did this. I did it, man. I mean, I left a lot of stuff I wanted. I wanted Five Easy Pieces. I wanted that Godzilla Blu-ray, which looked really cool. I wanted that one. And there was a whole host of other ones that I was looking at, and I was thinking to myself, man, like I wanted like the Night of the Hunter, and I'm like, okay, I'm putting this one back, I'm that one back, and that one. I'm like, okay, the next sale, I will get more, man. Trust me. I'm always kind of writing little lists. I'm always saving certain things that I know I want to get. So got a great stack this time, and it'll be the same amount of stack next time. Guaranteed to you, it will definitely. So let's dive into what I got, shall we? Because it's pretty damn good for what I got, man. I brought a lot of things that I wanted back to the shelves, but a lot of stuff I took home with me. So let's dive into this very, very fascinating stack, man. So the first title that I got out of the stack is Traffic. Now, I don't have Traffic yet, and I've always loved this movie. I love Steven Soderbergh. I love the performances here. It's just a really great war on drugs crime movie that really is a very realistic take on it that I really love. And I was like, you know what? I love Soderbergh so much. I've been sort of holding off on buying this one for a while that I decided, look, I'm going to pull the trigger on it. So I did pick up Traffic. The next title that I picked up is one that, again, I have been waiting to pull the trigger on and finally did it, and that is Time Bandits from Terry Gilliam, baby. Now, I told you guys that I am a big Terry Gilliam fan, and I am. I, in fact, actually own most of Terry Gilliam's films, minus one or two that I don't have, and now add Time Bandits to the collection. In fact, I am such a big Terry Gilliam fan that his new movie, when that came out, the week that big new releases came out, The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, I ended up buying that immediately because I knew that that movie wasn't going to stay in store shelves for very long and it needed to be in the collection. I am a big Gilliam fan, that is for damn sure. And with Time Bandits, it's always been one that I've been wanting to get. I've seen it multiple sales and I'm like, oh, and I've sort of, there's always been other things that I've wanted and I've held back on Time Bandits, and I figured now is a good time to pick it up, man. Put it in the collection. I love unique fairy tale fantasy style Terry Gilliam. I've always really enjoyed that, whether it's The Adventures of Baron Munchausen or even to a lesser extent the Brothers Grimm. I do enjoy what he's done in fantasy realm stuff, and Time Bandits, even though it's not perfect, I still really enjoy it. And it's been a long time since I watched it, so I figured, why not? Criterion Collection Terry Gilliam loves? I'll definitely take it. Picked up Time Bandits, guys. Then the next title that I picked up is none other than, oh, and I had to do it, and that was Defending Your Life. Yes, with Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep. Ah, man. Judgment City. Turn left onto the Path Lives Parkway. Yes, indeed, man. I remember watching this film on cable and VHS a long time back. And I always really loved it. I'm not really much of a religious guy, but I like the idea of a concept where in order to get to the next level of heaven, you have to defend your life in order to do it, and all of your life choices and the things that you did and the things that you didn't do. And I just like the idea of really, putting your life on sort of like sort of a major spotlight, and sort of the complications and the hilarity of that. I thought it was really fun, man, when I saw it all those years ago, and it's always kind of stuck with me. and the quirky comedy of it, like with Albert Brooks's lawyer, and the idea that his lawyer, he's eating this food, right? This food doesn't really look that appetizing or delicious, but Albert Brooks wants to try it, and the lawyer's like, "Look, you're not gonna like it. You really are." And Albert Brooks like, "I still want to try it," and he takes a bite of it, and he's like, "God, this is terrible. What? It tastes like shit." And he's like, "Well, yeah, because I'm in a higher plane of existence than you are. So the food that I enjoy, you think tastes like shit, but I actually think it tastes like fine cuisines." So I just like the weirdness of it, man, and the quirky sort of sensibilities of going to heaven, but yet you're not quite at heaven yet. That in order to get the next level, you have to prove yourself. And if you don't, well, you come back down to earth as a little baby and having to prove yourself all over again. Boy, I wonder how many people do that. I wonder how many lives that have had to come down before it came to me. How many people had to defend their lives until they got to my ass. And I got to admit, I'm probably coming back down to earth too, guys. I'm coming back down to earth. I'm not gonna be up in heaven for a long time. Trust me. When they actually end up actually talking about my life and putting it on screens in a courtroom setting, I can't wait to defend my life choices. That'll be fun. In the meantime, I can at least enjoy defending your life. That is for damn sure, man. So, great pickup there. Then the next one I got is, I'll show this one off, and that is Memories of Murder. Yes, with Bong Joon-ho directing. Now, the only reason why I picked this up is because of you guys. You ended up actually when Parasite got released. You guys ended up actually talking to me about other Bong Joon-ho films, and a lot of you guys said Memories of Murder is really amazing and fantastic. And so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna give it a gamble based on what you guys told me. I do love Parasite. I love, a lot of the stuff that Bong Joon-ho has done. Never seen this one, but I think he's a pretty great director, man. He's done some pretty great movies where he mixes comedy and drama and horror sort of all mixed in together, and he does it brilliantly, actually. So I took a chance on Memories of Murder. We'll see how it goes, guys. Let's hope it's a winner. Picked up that one. Then the next one that I picked up is the Blu-ray, and I told you guys I was gonna pick this up, of Deep Cover. Yes! Oh, I knew I was gonna pick this one up, man. I mean, I was waiting until this got released during the week that I was gonna go and do the Barnes and Noble sale. That's why I waited, because I wanted Deep Cover, man. And this is a great movie, man. It really honestly is. And I love Fishburne here. I love Goldblum here being this sort of drug trafficker, man. I love that. When you think of Goldblum, I guess the last thing you think of is him being like a cocaine trafficker. But hey, it works for the film, man. It really does, man. And I'm so glad that movies like this are getting spotlights, especially movies from the 90s. It's so interesting because I've had a lot of discussions with people where they talk about the 80s in a very sort of reminiscent way and love the 80s, and I love the 80s too. I love the 80s and the 70s of filmmaking, but a lot of people pass on the 90s. A lot of people are like, yeah, well, it's the 90s. There was some here and there, but no, the 90s were way better than people really gave it credit for. And I think movies like Deep Cover and a hell of a lot others definitely deserve love. So I'm definitely happy to see this, man. What a great cover that is. Love it, love it, love it, baby. Glad I picked that one up. Then the next one that I got is, and I had to pick this one up. I've been passing on it for a couple of sales now, and that is none other than Scanners. Yeah, look at Scanners, baby. Look at that cover. That's cool. That's pretty cool, man. Oh man, David Cronenberg, what a weird, wild, crazy movie of the mind. Yes, my God, man. You know, I do like Cronenberg. I really do. Whether it's Shivers or The Fly, Existence, and many, many more that I love. Dead Ringers, you name it. Phenomenal movies. I like earlier Cronenberg more than I do later Cronenberg, but I still think he's a guy that just has such a wild and vivid imagination, and taking that vision and bringing it to the screen, some of the imagery is literally almost out of a lucid dream or a nightmare. And Scanners is one of those, man. I mean, I know they've done a lot of other Scanners movies, but this is like pretty much the best one. That is for damn sure, man. And I never thought that Scanners would ever get a Criterion release. I mean, Scanners, for Christ's sake. I mean, if Scanners can get a release, hell, anything can at this point, man. So, why not, man? And I love that great head exploding scene. That is fucking awesome. So, I've never owned Scanners in the collection. I've never had it on DVD or VHS, Blu-ray, so this is the first time having Scanners in the collection, and what a great addition to have. Not half bad. Some more Cronenberg love in the collection. Never hurt nobody, baby. Never did. I picked up that. I also ended up picking up the Blu-ray of The Grand Budapest Hotel. Yes, indeed I did, man. Now, I told you when I was showing off the titles at Barnes & Noble, I told you that this is, to me, middle range Wes Anderson. But that it could grow, in my opinion, if I were to watch it again. I remember when I saw it with Bob, we really liked the movie. We thought it was really quirky. We love Ray Fiennes in the film. I think he's fucking hilarious in this movie. And we just love the quirky characters, the hotel, and all the crazy antics in the film. And, you know, Wes Anderson has a style that is unmatched with any other filmmaker. I mean, he does stuff where you're invested in the characters. It's quirky, it's weird, but yet it's relatable in some weird and odd way. And only Wes Anderson, man. He's done some really amazing films. I mean, not every one of his movies is a winner, to be sure, but I like this. There's moments where this movie reminds me of Steve Zissou. You know, obviously there's moments where this reminds me of the Royal Tenenbaums, and it has a nice mixture and flavor to it that I really enjoyed, and I do want to revisit the movie. I really do, man. I really enjoyed it. Didn't love it, but I'm willing to give it another rewatch. And on Criterion, hey, I'll take it, baby. And look at that art. So great. I love the quirky artwork that Criterion gives for the Wes Anderson. It fully encompasses what a Wes Anderson film is. Seriously. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Isle of Dogs. Come on, Criterion. Give me what I want, goddammit. I will buy it, trust me. You just gotta put it out. And last but certainly not least, and I had to pick this up, man, and I haven't watched this in ages, but it's a movie that I had to get, man, and that is none other than My Own Private Idaho. I had to do it, man. This movie is amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, Keanu is great here. River Phoenix, the chemistry between them, and also Keanu and River Phoenix were really personal friends. And so you could really see it in this film how much of great friends they were, and how much of a connection they had. And it's just a well-directed movie by Gus Van Sant that, you know, I think is not a forgotten movie exactly. When you think of Gus Van Sant, you don't think of My Own Private Idaho. You think of a movie like Good Will Hunting, and it's understandable. But I think right below that, or a notch or two, is My Own Private Idaho, which is amazing. And I've always loved this time in Keanu's career. I've always loved it. And the reason why is because he was doing very interesting films at this point. He was doing, you know, films like Parenthood or My Own Private Idaho, or he was doing other films that I really do love him in, like For instance, River's Edge. Oh, yes, another really great Keanu performance, a really great early Keanu movie that I really, really love, man. And he was doing a lot of really interesting stuff at the time. That, Dangerous Liaisons, I Love You to Death, Babes in Toyland, and a lot of really great other material, including My Own Private Idaho, man. I mean, it's a great dark coming of age tale with amazing acting, excellent directing, and it's one that I'm actually great that Criterion put this one out. I didn't even realize that they had put it out. It might have passed me by, but when I saw it at Barnes and Noble this time, I was like, man, I gotta get this thing. So, man, it's nice to have some more younger Keanu in the collection, baby. Not bad, man. Not bad at all. And come on, any more River Phoenix love is good River Phoenix love. Let's be real, man. Great, great, great stack of titles that I got, guys. Look at this, man. Traffic, Time Bandits, Defending Your Life, Memories of Murder, Deep Cover Scanners. Oh, The Grand Budapest Hotel, and My Own Private Idaho. Yeah, I went over the $100, guys. I know. I totally screwed up, man. God damn it. I really tried. Trust me, man. I tried. I was looking at this stack, and there were ones that I took out of the stack, and there was ones that I put back in the stack, and then there was other ones that I took out, and there were ones that I put back in. And eventually I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna take what I got and just go with it. And that's what I did, man. And so, hey, it's a really awesome stack. And the stuff that I left behind, trust me, oh, I will get some of that next sale. Come November, some of that is going in the collection. That is for damn sure. But in the meantime, some more Criterion love for the collection is never a bad thing. And some of those titles are well worth paying the money for. That is for damn sure, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it the thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out the other movie hunting videos like Dollar Tree Hunts. Check out the Blu-ray DVD Out and About videos that I do, movie reviews with my friends, Blu-ray pickup videos, live streams, and much, much more. If you are a lover of movies and physical media, hit subscribe and become a part of the Film Fan Nation. I want to thank my wonderful subscribers. You guys, amazing, absolutely phenomenal, amazing. You guys lift me up in the best possible ways. I love talking movies with you guys. You give me the love, and hope I give the love right back to you. So thank you so much. Also, keep up to date with everything I'm doing through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Film Fan 108. Keep up to date with everything I'm doing, plus special pictures and videos I do from time to time on social media as well. All right, guys. You guys got to let me know what you guys got in the Criterion sale. Did you get more than me? Did you get a little bit less? What kind of titles did you pick up? Definitely let me know. And trust me, I'm making a list and I'm checking it twice. And come November, there will be more Criterion love to pick up. That is for damn sure, guys. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you back next time for another Criterion sale hunting. Oh, can't wait to spend more money. $100. I'll never make it. Take care, everybody. And remember, happy hunting.